try to stay on topic here. I'm really not usually good at that because I have tangential thinking issues. Because one thing leads to another, and I just keep thinking, oh yeah, that reminds me of this, by the way. And so it just goes on and on. Unfortunately, I don't have that. I guess that's why people charge money, because then they have to behave. Um, so I'm not charging. This guy, this White Oak Trading guy, sent me an email. It's kind of cute because he's like, "Can I help you with something? Yeah, could you stop trying to scam people for $127 a month because you have the commitment of traders report? It's not helping anybody make money." I think you're helping. You think you're helping people make money because let me show you the Holy Grail. Okay, put your goggles on. Did you bring your mask? So I've committed myself to never wear a mask in public unless you put a hemostat on my left testicle, and then I'll be okay. So yeah, people have shot in places. I mean, this is how personal it is. Whether I wear underwear or a mask or whatever I do, you're going to start telling me what to do? People getting killed telling people what to do about this mask. You notice how that kind of touches? That's an intimate thing. You know, people kiss with their face. Kissing in public? Is that even? Oh, that's a felony. Am I really living in this world right now? I knew people had their head up their ass when they were all gaga about, you should see this Marvel movie. I don't know what fucking happened to these people. I think it's called Arrested Development. So you got drunk when you were 10 years old, so you're stuck on fucking Marvel Comics. When I heard Marvel Comics, no offense if you have a Marvel fetish, but dude, when I saw the interest in that, I go, let's short that. Like, who's not shorting P.F. Chang? Like, I've got this is the asshole that's got his shit in the airports like CNN. P.F. Chang, dude, it's just food, okay, motherfucker? I can make better shit at home. Let's go into the trading video, though. I mean, really, P.F. fucking Chang? I mean, come on. Yeah, let's go to P.F. Chang. Now let's go to Benihana, where they fucking do like it's Cirque du Soleil with your food. Let's do that shit. Ginsu Carver meets Cirque du Soleil. Oh, sorry, that scallops in your lap. I meant to do that. It's part of the new fucking gig, dude. Don't you know you're in the raw dog Bahana room? Benihana goes rogue. I gotta turn the speaker off. I got some defective gear that keeps getting triggered by electromagnetic disturbances. 5G's cutting in my system. And I'm just so anxious. This is my only place to vent is on YouTube because my friends wouldn't be my friends. If they heard me fucking go off on my rants, they'd be like, dude, can we just shut up and play your guitar? That's the for example I recommended. Shut up and play your guitar. Do what you do. I mean, that's why liberals, I had to dump one of my relatives. You know, an attorney. Libtard. Like this do-gooder fucknut down in Texas. Oh, he got his thing reversed. And I guess Miss Hair Salon Lady, you know, it's not essential. Yeah, wait till your nose hair. You start eating your nose hair. It's essential. Okay. Look at the retracement on this beautiful puppy. Look at this trade I did. Remember the balance started at 1619? I haven't touched the account. It's cashed out of I know I'm in about 25K. I dropped 30 tickets. I get filled. I don't know how many. I cashed out. I can see the history. I've actually labeled these. A lot of work went into this shit, dude. I give it away for free. Of course, if it's free, nobody thinks it's worth anything. It's kind of perverted. It's like when the stock's really low, they go, you mean it's okay to buy down here? Yeah, it's called buy low, sell high. But wait a minute. Not so fast. Have you heard about the Gartley pattern? No. Are you allowed to talk about that? You are with a mask on. Special Gartley mask. Carney's selling those. The harmonic trading mask. I was listening to my buddy out of Clevesis out of, well, we don't talk much, but I listened to his latest video on market structure. Yeah, in the end, sadly, this is the story. Okay, you can tell me how your moving average, your 20 EMAs, nailing it, And I bet you if I throw up a 20 EMA, another thing this White Oak trading guy sent me this. I mean, you should see the fucking email. The first promo email about the institutional monthly trend lines. Are you out of your fucking mind? Rorschach's got a better chance at fucking guessing reality. What in the fuck are you thinking? Yeah, because, so Clevesis says, well, look at this. I think I think the market's going to respect the institutional trend line because don't forget the institutions, they never lose money. Oh, no. I guess Harvard's the one not losing money, right? They just get grants. Oh, you're so witty. So I have a big problem with that, too. Unfortunately, this is a double-edged sword. So I like being ridiculous and entertaining people. And when I play guitar, I play ridiculous licks. So I figure, I guess I'm just an angry brat on the planet for myself. Just kind of like, okay, fuck this, fuck that, fuck you. What's next? Now, even Einstein's got it set up as everybody has a head. Einstein fucked up, okay? He was talking about this and he had to go double test it out in the fuck. You ever seen that? He had to go all the way out to fucking get there on time to do his test to prove that this unified field theory and all this shit, and then he made a mistake here and he fucked up there, and yeah, he sat in a room and thought shit. Yeah, you could focus on, like an autistic motherfucker, you could focus on one singularity. One thing. The phone's not ringing. They're not telling you can't get coffee. No more baristas for you. That shit's not, that chaos of just fucking dumb shit. When I first heard about that, you know what I thought? I thought I'm on a cruise ship of life that I was born into. And some motherfucker on the cruise ship yells fire. And there's no fire. And I'm like, would you shut the fuck up? You're ruining this fucking tour. I'm almost dead. Okay? I'm almost dead. Could you just sit the fuck down? No. Oh, no, man. We got this thing called a computer. And it's like going to be like, dude, it builds models. It's like a Gartley pattern. Now, if they would have presented that, I can all the Forex traders, all the goober traders would be like, you know what he used for that modeling? Gartley 618 extensions. Oh, yeah. He used the Tony Plummer 4.236 extension. Oh, yeah. 4 times your money. So, also the ratios. And the intensity that people put into one ticket. I mean, this intensity is like, oh, now look at all these trades I got on. I risked $10. And I want to say another thing here. What are we holding on to right now? Do you see any? Okay, here's one buy stop. You know why? It might be a tight stop. This has a bruiser stop of 100 pips. So I don't know what my entry price is. Okay, I got in at 0888. Here's my lowest fill on a limit. The bottom of this on a stop. It's low now, but it wasn't then, right? I'm sorry, let's take profit. Where do we get in it? So the rock bottom price of the same as this one, but this is about to cash out. I guess I stacked up. No, I stacked up. I got in it. Oof, that is down at the bottom, isn't it? See, now I never would have been there to pull the trigger on that trade, and that's my biggest winning trade at $30 because it is a 4K. And so these were 2 4Ks that got filled within 5 pips of each other. And I can see if I do a snapshot of this and print it out, save it in a file, people that talk about journals, this would be your journal. Did I do what I said I was going to do? Did I put those tickets in? They lasted all day. So the guy that was talking about, and this is the no-nonsense way of trading in a sense, because all he's doing is saying, I'm trading the dailies. And then he went even further and fucked up his trading and decided to put indicators on the daily. Are you fucking kidding me? Everything you need to know is on that daily chart and the 4-hour. Why doesn't he just go to the 4-hour chart? Because he can't get his brain around structure, see? Because there's structure on the 4-hour chart that doesn't exist on the daily, in the sense that if you have a top become a bottom, or you have a fake out and a fake out breakout, fake out breakouts, fake out breakouts, are you trading the fake out breakout on the wick 5 bars back on a 5-minute chart, or are you 3 days back on the daily chart? So these are all amazingly juicy fucking risk one to make 10 trades. They're all day long, right? Now, if you're babysitting the market and you're scalping it, and you've got your finger on the trigger, and you've got a 5 pip stop and a 10 pip stop and a 13, and you can buy, and you can load, because you got to buy quick. Okay, so if you're going to trade really small like this, yes, it doesn't pay for you to, like, if you've ever watched the tick chart, I'm just saying, watch the market in Asia, watches for 2 hours straight on a tick chart, not a tick bar chart, the fucking tick chart. It's over here, because you ain't going to ever see what the market's really doing. Run one instrument, because you'll get a fat tick chart. You can run the whole screen in pure tick chart. So everything that's that whole file is coming back to mind now that I hear this guy from Britain talking. And so all that we talked about, how to expand that, and he's the guy that wrote the scripts in here for the limit grid drops. Now, limit grid drops are very aggressive trading. You're literally going to risk $40 to make $60 if the whole rack fills and it retraces. But all I did was I made it so that these are staggered entries that I'm just putting in, and it's very powerful because I knew I was only risking maybe $200 with $1,600 in the account. This is what trading is to me. You put the fucking ticket in, and hopefully it's going to be a limit order. Never a stop, never a market. Pure limits, because it's forcing you to be patient. Wait to get filled, but you're still trading. If you drop all your limits all week and they never fill, you haven't lost any money. And I guess he was trading during this volatility. And so if you have high volatility and you have an indicator, it cannot fucking adjust. I don't care what the fuck. I don't care if you built the holy grail of indicators. The market heats up. Here comes corona fucking mindset bullshit where people are just... When you saw the toilet paper off the shelves, you had to know that the ship you chose to fucking be born on is full of retarded people that have a voice. I don't care if you're a fucking moron. Stay home, stay safe. But if you're going to go out and fucking start pulling levers and start well, we asked an expert. And then we got this cunt over here asking for an expert. Gretchen Heil Whitmer. The bitch says to the 28th of May now. 6 levels, 6 phases. She outdid the fucking feds. She went from 3 phases to 6. That's like trading with 6 moving averages now. Which crossover do I take? Well, when you start to cross the first, and I did build a momentum system, which I call cloud trading. It involves a 1, 2, 3, maybe a 4 period moving average of Hakanashi smooth. I mean, it really is. If you want to trade like that and you got the triggers to pull at the market, I don't recommend even limit trading it. It's a complete market order trading system. You babysit it. You look, I got a signal here, and you just get in mechanically every day that you're in a uptrend. You buy every pullback. No questions asked. Now, here's what you got to imagine, though. You're buying at 80K. You write a script that buys at 80K at the market with 80 different stops and 80 different take profits. Very easy. I could write one right now. Well, I couldn't write one right now, but all I have to do is take a market order and keep repeating the ticket. Okay, that's a magic thing I found. Just repeating that ticket means that if I put in an array of tickets, and I know there's 18 in there, I know that's going to be with 10 pip stops, right? That's going to be, or I can put in 1K, 2K, 3K. I could probably even force it to run in the United States. But that's a lot of math, right? You have to take all those stops and add them up. What are you risking on that whole drop? Here, I know it's $10. I don't care about the size because I'm trading money. I'm trading for money. I'm not trading for pips. I'm trading for money. I'm not saying I built a 20 pip stop. It's $2 on a 1K. Let me pull the trigger. I pull it 10 times. I'm risking $20. Or I drop an array and say, oh, just let me capture this bullshit for the next 2 hours. No, these are daily drops here. So I'm going to stay on topic here. Daily drop series, we call this. Because I don't think I'm helping anybody by throwing out my ideas there. Because I know what it is, I think everybody knows what it is. And I think the limit order is the ultimate because you're waiting for the market to come to you. You've picked the price. You know where the vacuum is. Now, is it going to reverse there? And you could probably go, I should go and add, every day I should add a buy and a sell here. One that's got a, say a 10 pip, okay, so 20 pip risk to make like 8 pips. A 10 to make 10. But then I could get chopped up, right? Better to say, let's write one that's going to risk 40 to make 20 because we don't have that one yet. So you start to fill in the picture. It's a bottomless pit as far as how far you're going to branch out into this system, right? So if you go 10 handles with 10 different stop variations, 3 different stop variations, now you got 30 fucking tickets all of a sudden. That's just on the buy side. And it wouldn't bother me at all. If I looked over there and I saw 100 tickets, I'd be like, what are we going to do today? Let me see. And you start placing these and you can see very quickly you can make a clean $300, a clean 10. You could lose 100 if you put 10 tickets in at $10. So if you're trying to build the account, you'd say, okay, we got like $500 here. Let's just do some clean drops. And I think, unfortunately, for this Cleve guy, he's got to trade 10K. So he'd have to make that thing a 10, a 20, a 30, 40K. But in the end, it's just money. So, because you got to do spread betting over there. So that really is the truth of it. And as far as the sell side here, I can see my take profits. May get hit, may not. In other words, I was not here for this trade. I literally placed that shit when I did the video and walked away. But this is a little bit more planned gridded trading than, in other words, what I'm doing here is putting the orders on structure. I'm not putting them because some moving average crossover system said start selling into a rally, which is what Ryan's bot's doing. In a grid, in a linear grid, even if it's martingale, the tickets are laid out to be triggered at an even interval. That's just the nature. I don't think that's going to be, you can't change that in that robot. Martingaling in, as far as structure goes, means that if you buy, after a 100 pip drop, you buy maybe a 1K. After a 20 pip drop, you buy another 1K. But see, you're buying closer together. And here we got filled. So I can see if I go to, let me just go to pure charting. And if I say, oh, look at those take profits. Nice. That's where I do want to get out. It just so happens there's a vacuum up there. Well, there's a vacuum everywhere. So when you say, well, where's the vacuum? I'm going to say there's a huge issue here, a 30 pip window. And I just like these clean bars. Now, Cleve says have the 15-minute chart zoomed out. I lose my mind because I look at every wick as an opportunity. And for me, there's so many trades within the trade that some people are doing. So there's a guy in the 5-minute chart making a pile of money because he just got a double bottom. He got a divergence on the RSI 3 period, and he loads the wagon, and he's kind of in a trap zone. So for confirmation, it's kind of like where the limit guys are getting in anyway. So you're not doing anything original, but you are there for the trade, and it does make money. The stress involved in that trade, if it's a lot, then to repeat that trade, it's like, oh, I'm done for the day. Oh. So that's why God invented demo accounts. So if you want to constantly keep your game, your edge of execution, be able to have a ticket raring to go. Here comes Asia. It's 9 o'clock. It's almost 5 after 9 o'clock at night. It's over. There's less than 24 hours of trading left in the Forex market. Bitcoin goes on. Now, Bitcoin is like your heart goes on. The Titanic. Now, that is the thing that I'm going to go next into Bitcoin. Since I'm parking my money in Bitcoin, The only difference is we have to add 2 zeros to all these scripts. If we add 2 zeros to all these scripts, then we could trade Bitcoin. Or I guess I got to figure out the size on that. I don't know what the even tradable. I don't trade it, so. But a micro lot, I don't know how you do that in Bitcoin, if you can even do that. I mean, it's just ridiculously, the number's insane, right? You're so far to the right of the decimal, One Bitcoin is just too much money. This is just a little bit too much. So it doesn't matter what it is because, unless you bought it like lower, you're not enjoying the fact psychologically that you're sitting where you're at. And the other guy, just thought of the other guy that's a White Oak trading guy who's bragging about 43% on more than 100 grand account. Are you holding that? You're up 43%? Like, until you cash out of this shit, I just want to say you're not up 43%. You're on paper, you're currently, but unless you go flat on the account, right? And that's why people say, well, you blew up the account. Yeah, after you were up 80%, you were 800%. I was up, and I did it with this Clevesis guy. We were in a Trader's Way. We did it. We just cranked it up, but you couldn't get out of that. That's very slow exit. It would take about 20 minutes to get out of that trade. And it was like, I don't know. I like that extra 30 grand we're up, right? So we're up 30 grand in about an hour and down 30 grand in an hour. If it's volatile, if it starts smashing around. But in the end, it's structure, I could also add to this position right now. So I'm up. I could come in with limits beneath right here and just put them on every 10 pips. I could risk $10 every 10 pips. I could buy, it would be $30 risk. Isn't that funny? Isn't that stupid? Doesn't you feel terrible? I feel terrible knowing what I know now about what I thought I needed to know. All the moving averages. I spent hours looking at the difference between an exponential and a linear weighted and a smooth and a simple. And I'm like, is there an edge to any of these blends? Or actually, I think if you had a 3-period moving average linear weighted and a 3-period exponential, I know the exponential is more sluggish because it's taking all the data and compressing it, that if you just did the crossover of the 3 style over the other 3 style, you'd be like the first guy on that trend. You are the first guy. Oh, it's slightly going up. Yes, look at that. I mean, highly sensitive indicator. Well, if that's the case, you better run it on the 4-hour chart, because if you run that in the 5-minute chart, you can blow your brains out and you can blow up any robot, because I'm testing robots now. I can tell you that strategy. Just think about it. You should be able to think about it in your mind's eye. You don't have to back test it to you. That if you chase the market everywhere it goes, that's great if you're on the 1-hour chart with a 30 pip stop in a very particular market that happens to be in that kind of world. These markets are constantly changing their dynamics to adjust to the people that raid the fucking toilet paper racks. Who are these fucking people? Just rinse it. Get a washcloth. Rinse it. Buy some Clorox. I got it, but you're loading up like they're never going to make toilet paper again? When did the toilet paper factories go down? I don't know. I don't know what happened there. I have not found it a problem. I don't think I've bought any more than I bought before. My ass didn't get bigger. Maybe that's part of the symptom. People's asses are getting huge on that. That's how you can tell that so many people. And the fact that everybody's getting sick is complete bullshit, dude. I hear people calling in and saying, I'm sorry, but my mom just died. And they tested her 3 times and they couldn't find any COVID, but they wrote her up as COVID-19. It's crazy. Yeah, because you get $11,400 for every fucking hospital gets money for racking it up. It's like a popular death. It's like, well, we had some LGBT motherfucker in here with COVID. We got to double indemnity on that one, because it was like, well, they were an outlier, super outlier. Actually, they were a serial killer that was gay, and they had COVID-19. Holy fuck, dude, really? Well, we want to do a movie about her or him or them and they, and we want to do a movie, and here's some money. So that's when it's to me, it's all just ridiculous that people really think happiness, the route to happiness is to, and of course, people, you'll ask them, they want to be famous. Go for it. You want to live in a fishbowl? Go for it. And I guess that's what these people like no nonsense do. You know, he wants to go on a speaking tour now. What is he, the new fucking Susan Powter? Come to my gym. What was Susan Powter's mantra? Like her and Tom Vu. Tom Vu of Forex. But, you know, hey, everybody's got their, they got to pay the rent. Working from home. You know, you're one of those, I don't know, I've always been alone trading. So I didn't really notice. The only thing that's annoying about the COVID thing, I go out, or I hear this shit on the news about, you got to do this, you got to do that. I'm like, but I'm already doing all this other shit, like not telling you to go to fucking hell every second. And I'm also not going through red lights, typically. So shut the fuck up. Good fucking God, man. I feel like getting out of this trade right now. And so it's been 24 hours. I want to go flat. I want to take the money and run because I know I can get right back in. Now, I would want to trade this differently right now. I want to come in with the scripts I wrote that are just going to be 4-hour and 12-hour. I'll show you how those work. But this is how the daily thing would work. And you could have just every 24 hours, if you're up, just get the fuck out. I'm not in that many K right now. So I think I got about 17K left here. So my biggest winner I could take off. I could just go, you know what? Let's lighten the load here. Take these guys off. Just go flat on the euro. And I've got a little bit of this left. British pound worked out. So that does not delete the arrows. So the arrows, to me, this is the key. So when did I drop them? Here is Asia. When I was doing the video, I was blathering along about all this shit. And I put them in. See, now here's the wide ones. And this must be... Later on I said, oh, let's just load this up. Right, let's load that up. And was there anything particular about that? No, I was just filling in the blanks between these other vacuums that I marked off. So here, we knew that if we ever came in this window, did we not know that? So without Gartley's and the sad thing, without Gartley's and all that shit, we just knew that. We just knew. It was beautiful that we just knew that. So I'm looking at it like this. Do I want to buy down here? And then I filled in all that stuff. And we've cashed out of some of those. We're still holding these because some of those were buy stop. No, they buy stop. No. Okay, let me show you the bad. The bad news is, and this is why I don't like entering on stops. I've only got one stop winner. And the code is written so the comment says BS for buy stop and BL for buy limit, so you know what you got filled on. And here's, if you look at the history, you see the winning. If it took profits where it was supposed to, it'll show up here. So those played out. The ones that took profits without that means that I just took it off manually just now, or I took it off before it was hit, I think. Oh, that could be when I took off, because normally you're going to see it either get stopped out, and here's all the takes. So you could see your winning kind of, if that's not going to work. So all right, let me do by profit here. Oh, no, I did it by time. That's the only way to do it. So this is a sell stop. This is when I first started trading this one account. I had hedges on, and I bracketed everything with stop entry. I don't recommend that unless you really know when to do that strategy, and it's going to be when the market's quiet. So when the market's doing a doji, you would put on a hedge because that's the obvious winning strategy at all times during that kind of, that's a momentum trade, I suppose. You could claim it's a structure break of this 8-hour window, but if you started putting on hedges here, you made yourself about 40 pips. But the guy on the other side of that trade that's buying into the plunge, he's buying this window, and that's me, and I bought even deeper, so some of these didn't fill, and they expired because it's been 24 hours since I did this. I think it's been 24 hours since I did this. So in the Asian session, but look how this trade that I did, here is a out of all the trades that have cashed out, the I guess not. I thought I saw a stop entry, a buy stop. Now I know I had a buy stop in there that's okay. Oh well. I didn't put a lot. I only had one buy stop in there, and it actually is still in the market. Here, it's up. So I know that if I would have put buy stops up there, yeah, later on, they might have filled later on, but I always feel like that is not waiting for the market to come to a lower price, because if I'm going to be a buyer, I want to buy as low as I can and accumulate, absorb the sell-off on limits, because if I was to put buy stops above, they're getting in so late, they'd probably be barely up, and with a really wide with a $10 risk, I'd rather opt out of chasing kind of the market in that sense. Like, so I could have last night when I put these limits in, I could have said, you know what, put a buy stop here. And yes, it's true that I could make money on that, but not if I have a buy stop here and they fill it, then they pull it back 40 pips to here and stop me out. Well, the 100 pip stop, and this is where I'm watching Cleves talk about ratios of, I'm risking this to make that. There's literally risk 10 to make 50 on this chart, but that would mean that you'd have to place limits in this group below, and maybe you got 50 pip stops on some of these, 30 pip, 35 pip. So another way to build a tree of tickets or scripts like that lasts all day, and it's no peanuts then, because every time you put one down there, they're sitting there for 24 hours waiting to get filled, and that's no joke. That you're really exposing yourself to risk. I got another Euro-dollar chart here. I think I want to put up this. So here I'd want to run my scripts on this chart right now. So these are the double clicks that I run on the tablet, because I want to capture on one case, because the broker will take it. Whereas what we just did there was kind of like, well, yeah, okay, that's $300, but I could have made 600, or I could have made 300 earlier if it smashed down and filled, like instead of filling just I don't know how many K that was, but I suppose that was about I'm gonna guess maybe 50K or 100K. We just traded. Maybe for a moment we were in 70K. But I could put 100K in and go in and out of that trade, because the market's constantly going up and down. Whereas here it was just one crush and then up. I'm sure there's points on here where it filled. We could have dumped the ticket. We could have plucked one off. So if you're babysitting it, even though you got filled on limits that you placed the day earlier, or you could have these last all week, because all week long that's a good price in the future. Here, let me do my double clicks. So right now I can see it coming. Here's the Asian sell-off. There's always the London sell-off, the Asians. There's always a sell-off in one of these sessions. The market's always adjusting for the next situation. But here I don't want to feel like I want to put them all day. And Friday's, it's over. So I'm going to put in my 4 pips for a half hour. And so the more you think about this style of trading, the more logical it seems. So here at 12 hours, I'm going to put 10 pips down. I'm going 10 pips down. Now these are double clicks, so I don't have to worry about where I'm gonna, if I'm gonna drop them in the right spot. There's no drag and drop here, so double click 10. I think this is a 3K with a 45 pip stop. Okay, it's very simple. Now it looks like peanuts, but if I wait and the market drops another 10 pips and I do the same ticket, now I'm in a 6K. Next thing you know, it's real money. Don't forget $6,000. That's $3,000. I guess that's what you have to tell people that have never traded before. You know, here we're gonna put a buy limit in and try to buy about $5,000 of currency over the next half hour. If it drops like up to 12 pips without going past 28, I get 28 stop on that. 30 pips stop to buy this for the next half hour. Now it could happen. It could happen. This market's very vicious. Now this is the 1 hour chart, and I've got the range here at the top, and this is the direction of the closing prices on a histogram below, if you like that kind of stuff. It's like a filter. I don't really consider it an indicator, but it's all history anyways. Now here I think that if I didn't write the double click, then I do have to go, I'll go to the single drops here. Unless I've got, see, I got to bring all the other ones I wrote over here and just make some psychotic master file of insanity, which I should just bring all the scripts in one demo and just have a fucking script. Looks like I might miss my fill here, but just to be on the safe side, I'm going to break out the singles here. Now this is another way to do it, which is very, very low risk, or very calculated, and very tiny peanuts, so you're only going to lose a few shells. You're not going to lose your whole account, is to buy in the double click singles, 3 pips deep, 4 pips deep. I did this in some video before. 4 hours, 5 pips deep. Sure, why not? It's Asia. I'm looking for a long-lasting ticket. And here it's just like, oh, 15 pips stop to make 40, 12 hours, 12 pips deep. I like that. That's a pip a minute entry. A pip an hour. Pip per hour. The old meltdown, sluggish sell-off. How about 8 pips, 15 pips deep, 8 hours, 10 pips stop to make 20. Here's a good old daily. I should put some more dailies in here. Yeah, now this is a whole different kind of like, I guess this is just saying I'm going to buy 40 pips deep. I mean, it is what it is with a 33 pip stop. Now, that's the bad ratio, but that might pay for the stop out of the market getting too volatile, overshooting your Gartley or breaking your trend line. And then that's why No Nonsense says trend lines don't work. Yeah, they don't work if you don't have a trade plan for them. So, yeah, the market's not going to respect your 6-month. Okay, for me, the trend line, if it's drawn on close, all it means is that we're going down at this rate of change. When that rate of change is no longer in force, you break the trend line. It doesn't mean it's going to break the trend line and go up. It just means the volatility, there was enough volatility to destroy the downward line. It's not that it's going down, it's that the volatility's, it is going down, but the volatility's dropping. And it's not dropping because it's going down. So the uptrend line is a representation of that the volatility is drying up. Otherwise, it would be a horizontal line. All lines would be horizontal. If the volatility was constant. So it starts to merge. You get a triangle. So what happens to people is they say, well, if that's, you know, how can I just do a Williams pitchfork and trade it? Yeah, you could. So, but you have to have a trade plan. So what's your trade plan for this? I mean, I guess this is the problem, is that the market can't see the trend line. This is you're trying to set up a trade that exists in your mind only. And so the market can't see the structure. It may be displaying it, but it can't see itself, like fish cannot see water. You know, that idea. I got that from Bill Williams. What's the only thing fish can't see? That's right, water. Because they're in it all the time. But would you really have pulled the trigger on this rally? So people want this confirmation entry stuff. Well, you touch this trend line here. Here, I'm going to ignore the fact that we could have drawn a trend line here, and you could have traded this breakout and made money. I don't know if you can see that one. So you could have drew a trend line there and said, well, I'm trading this channel. You're trading this channel? Why does this, why does selling here work? I honestly think that the market's random, and because this came up here, it didn't make it to the floor structure-wise on this 1 hour chart. It didn't make it to any kind of prominent thing, but it was a very quick move up, unsustainable. And this is where I think that the fractal is important, because see this wick here, what I think is going on there is we fill that void. Okay, so we fill that. We don't quite make it to that. On the 1 hour, this thing turns on a dime on the 1 hour right here. So this is like Asian meltdown. Here comes the U.S. markets. Big spike up. Are people and institutions pulling the trigger on a trend line there on the 1 hour chart? Gee. I'm presupposing they drew the trend line like I did, because I'm thinking most people I see draw a trend line, they do it like this. Yep, see? It broke the trend line here on the wick, and we got in here, and we're winning traders. And then people sell courses on that shit, because what people don't take into account is, okay, you trade like that every day and you risk 2% of your account. How's that working out for you? Well, let's talk about that. It could be hit or miss. And they may be making a measly 43%, like this guy's like bragging, I made 43%. Really? And he's claiming that the markets aren't random. Mark Douglas got it wrong. I cannot delete that trend line to save my life. So I'm just going to delete it all. Go scorched earth on this thing. All right. I hate to call it that trend line. So yeah, it's all about structure. I mean, you really can't, and this is going to be the hard part, because a lot of people don't want to put that much work into it. And in other words, thinking about, oh God, how do I, or accepting the fact that, would you buy this if it dropped? Yeah, I think so. Here, let me get these other tickets off so I can pay attention to the ones I'm in. I'm just going to take all the winners off the table. I only got a 10K left here. It cost me $20 to hold the 10K. Let's just get a fresh start, because we know we can build the account from here until tomorrow on limits. And we might not get filled in the stuff. Here, I'll show you the oh shit, close all. Oh well. We'll just redo it. Oh, here, I can just shut down the platform. I think that's going to kill that script for me. But the ones that yeah, I have to kill the platform. I didn't want to hit. I want to hit close all profits. That's why I put that in a tree, so it's isolated. But oh well. Well, hopefully that's not going to fuck up. I'll just refresh it. I don't think the market's going to go down there. I'm just showing you where I would put my tickets. And of course, last night being, we knew the jobs report was coming out this morning, and we could see some volatility maybe picked up. And I think I actually got, I put a few sells up there in the Swiss franc. I don't think I ever got filled. I had to look at the history, but I also had the a sell that I got clobbered on a selling the euro versus I lost $10 plus commissions and spread. I'm gonna look at the history in a second here. It's opening up every chart that I have in this demo. Anyways, I didn't really put a lot of tickets in other instruments, and I want to see if they got filled because I left the arrows there. I'm just messing around with this chart to just talk about these kind of notions people have. Well, if I could only get like the right, gosh, I tried the 4 period moving average. I tried the 5, and I think a 4.5 period moving average would be just like, I think it would do better. Yeah, that's the ticket. Yeah, that would be. If I could just get the. It looks like it started closing some of this. So I'm about to get filled on limits. Let me just close all profitable trades here. And I'll even put in some of these scripts that Clevesis wrote. He put these. I created these arrays, and I created logarithmic, and I created linear arrays of it. Okay, so let me just get these winners off the table here. All right, so there we went flat. We went from 1619 to almost 1900. Not bad for not having to touch this for 24 hours. That's nice. What we got here? So here's the limit drops, and these are pretty extensive. We start here with a 1K at the top, risking $10 to make, risking $1 to make $2. So 8 hours on that. I think these are all 8-hour drops. So here's another kind of mindset. Can we get down here in 8 hours? Would you buy there with a 10 pip stop to make 20 pips? I sure would. So I could do single drops all the way down, or I could go, you know what? We've got about, how much money? 1900 almost. Let's go for a fucking, how about a 10K here with a 20 pip stop? And this is a big labor saving device. How about that? Every pip. Now I'm going to do every pip with a 30 pip stop to make 15. And I'm risking $30 here. I just put in a 10K. So it's a 9 pip range. Okay, so it's a 9K, I think, in a 10 pip range. Now, we're going to count the top of the box. So, yeah, it's a 10K in a 9 pip range. It's 3K in a 10 pip box. Looks like this because you're counting the top of the box. Top of the grid. This is a lot better. Now you can make these last all day. I mean, I put a link to the master file that contains, these are called grid drops or limit drops. Also, if I put it above here, it's a sell. Pure limit trading there. I would sell above this wick for obvious reasons. I'd sell right above that wick. We know there's sellers up there. Are the big boys up there? Well, everybody's up there. There's big boys that are going to sell 10 pips north tonight. There's big boys that are going to buy 10 pips deep below us tonight. They're all over the place. This is another fucking harebrained. It just makes me want to throw up, and it just makes you. I should know better. That you think that the people that are institutions and these guys that sell court, they're all in the same mindset. Everybody's pulled into the same hysteria. Like for a minute there, I thought maybe I have corona. Maybe that's why I'm so fucking pissed off. Is that another side effect? I'm just so angry. It could be corona. One of the corona symptoms. I got this bitch on this fucking stage. She comes out and says, "We're going to have testing. Have a questionnaire. Have you had a cough in the last 3 minutes? On a scale of 1 to 5, how do you rate your ability to sneeze into your elbow?" Later, we'll have sneeze in your elbow classes. What the cutest thing was, she came out about 2 weeks ago and said, "We've got a site you can go to for some meditation and some spiritual healing. And I was like, oh my God, really? Can I just have the smiley guy? I'm good enough, I'm smart enough. Can't I just look into the mirror in the morning? Doggone it, people want my corona. Yeah, they want to get sick with me. If you love me, you'll lick me. What happened to have a nice day? Okay, here's the logarithmic ones. Now get a load of this shit. I have ones called geo. If it says geo, it means geometric. It means it's going to buy... I studied this stuff, man. Come on. It's 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. So 64 pips deep. Now these logarithmic ones are like... here, you can kind of see it on a 5K and a 40 pip window. So imagine I had dropped this thing over here. I'll drop it down here. It will never fill. I doubt that's the market's coming down there. But what if it did? Oh my God, what if it did? See here how I got it spaced. So this is precision drop trading. I don't recommend the double click stuff because if you don't know what you double clicked here, you're kind of forced to go, okay, I'm buying a 36 pip range here for 8 hours. A 10K. Now that would have been the juiciest trade. I could have done it last night, but I was doing that one for people that want to think about $10 risk. Here you got to read the risk. Here you're risking $50 to make 50 bucks. $50 to make 14 bucks. This is 80 pip stop to make 20 pips. I guarantee you, you have a high probability of profiting from that. Why? Because you put an 80 fucking pip stop on a 20 pip target. Yes, you could trade like that, but not all day long. So I'll put another one in here. I'll overlap them. And my God, man, if they ever fill this shit, we'll clean up. And now I'm just going to be a pig, and I'm just going to grab shit and throw it in here. If I'm not careful, though, I could still blow up this account. If they fill everything I just put in there, and I didn't pay attention because it's a demo account, but if I go to the 1 hour chart and I zoom in, this is another thing. When you zoom in, you change the whole framework mentally of what I think is possible. Do you really think the market's going to drop down here in 8 hours and fill all those tickets and blow out that bank? It could. Because look at this fucking move. But look at the retrace. That was the cash out. Can't see that on the daily. If you're going to trade on the daily chart, now you got to write a script that buys this vacuum, this hole, this reversal. You got to stand into a fucking 150 pip slam to make yourself a juicy 500 pips in 5 days. This is not a trade no nonsense is going to take. He can't see it. Why? He's a trend trader. He sold here. He wrote it to here. If he's lucky, he's out. He's not getting in and riding that back. And he's definitely not. He might be selling this. But I suspect that when it came to here, even a structured trader got burned. If he thought that this bottom was going to become a top and that market was going to reverse, even that, even the structured trade fails because, oh, they're going to keep going down. No, I think this moved just down a little too fast and the ATR is a little too... This is the highest volatility bar in this whole chart. And the direction of that is down. That is the biggest down. That is the biggest. That's jumbo. That's a jumbo move. Now, this is a nice trend. Now, I bet No Nonsense was able to sell here. I can see his trades. We can all see his trades. He's on a daily. Here's the baseline. Got 20 EMA. You know, this is when all that shit seems all just great, you know. Now, he's got this other thing that's kind of weird. A 14-period ATR filter. What? Yes. That's got to be right. And then you have C1, confirmation 1, confirmation 2. Oh, didn't take the trade, but I took this one. I went short right there. Oof. How about the guy that went short here because he goes, well, bottoms become tops. You know, we came back here. The sellers are going to come in here. We're going to continue. Can't you see my trend line? The market respects my trend line, doesn't it? That's why no nonsense says, well, see, trend lines don't work. I did what you did. I did what you told me. I sold right here. The trend line worked 1, 2, 3, 4 times. It's not working anymore. You can't trust that trend line. I mean, I can show you, I can make it work, I can make it fail. He makes it fail. The problem with no nonsense, he's a fucking lying libtard. He's just a lying. He's like any other fucking liar. Or he's just retarded. Okay, he could just be fucking retarded. Some guy's like, come over to Discord and chat with the. Why? I can't read the shit in there. It's just go to fucking Forex Factory and hang out. Go to Traders. Was it? I went there because I guess I was lonely, thinking, well, I got some harebrained ideas about the market. I don't want if anybody. And the person's like, dude, get the fuck. You're nuts. Get the fuck out of here. Okay, bye bye. Just like when they kicked Charles Manson out of fucking FX Street. Oh, so this guy, I saw Dale Pinkert interviewed this White Oaks guy, and I haven't listened to the interview yet, but I'm another fucking idiot. I think he died, unfortunately. I feel bad. I've really ripped into a lot of people that died, but I didn't kill them. And I think Jason Stapleton's still doing. He's running for president or something. You got this fucking talk show. Call me. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur. Just that phrase, dude. Can I just slap you? What is it? Some French word? Hey, where's all the Antifa? I'm really getting bored. When do they go back to cutting heads off on TV? Corona's an invisible enemy. I want to see a. Come on, Iran. Let's kick some ass. Come fuck with some of our ships. I'm just putting it out there. See how close you're going to get to our ship. And then the Chinese? Dude, don't fuck with us, fuckers. Prove it? Yeah, we should be able to prove that. I mean, you fucking sitting there wearing hazmat and then you're telling us? No, you brought it here. Whatever. You built a fake city. You fuckers built a fake city. Get some fake hookers and I'll come over. Get some conscienceless, unconscious girls. Get them some of those. Get them some mollies. Go ask Jesse, Chicago Jesse, for some of those mollies. What kind of fucking world? So yeah, the horizontal structure. Look at the big 100 pippers here. Was that a good sell or was that a good sell? Yes. Sell high, buy low. It's that simple. It is so cruel. Now, if you're buying into this thing coming down, right, you're saying, well, I bought on the daily, right, the daily. Can you afford 300 pips of limits buying every one? So the guys like, you're trading for peanuts. What if I put a 1 can every 10 pip grid? Okay, so I just bought 10K, 20K, 30K. Is that a lot of money to you? I bought a 10K in a 100 pip zone. Well, nobody thinks like that because they think, well, don't you have a signal? Should I sell here at that little baby rail? I'd say, yeah. You can't deny what the market's telling you to do. It just went ripping up, buying pullbacks. You ever heard that one, buying pullbacks? Is this a pullback? Would you buy there? No, I wouldn't, because my ATR, no nonsense, no confirmation, no engulfing pattern, no Gartley. What else is missing from that trade? Could have bought that pullback with a tight stop. Could have bought this pullback with it. Could have sold this pullback with a tight stop. Why would I do that? Because it only went up about. I mean, it only pulled back like 40 pips. It's the only chance to really get on the train. They said buying pullbacks, but buying dips, it can't be that easy because, well, I can see what Well, of course it's not that easy, son. Let me show you why. Come here, let me show you something. Forex Bill will show you why you just couldn't do that necessarily all the time. Well, you know what? I sold this pullback like you told me. It went down. I was winning. And then I sold this one, and I kind of won, but I sold this, and I was out of money by that. By the time I sold here at the market, like you said, just sell if it's up, buy if it's down. Yeah, so I'm cherry picking where it's fucked up. But is it? Is it really fucked up? If I sold here with a 100 pip stop, I'm sorry, after going up, I mean, I forgot to preface with the rule. 2 bars up. If there's 2 bars up, buy the first pullback. How about that? 3 bars up, buy the first pullback. There should be a robot you build for that. And so it's up 2 bars, buy the pullback. If it's small, buy big with a tight stop, risk the same amount of money. Where do you get out? Okay, let's just get out. If we're going to buy here with a stop here, let's just double our money and get out here. We ride the whole thing up. So after 2 bars, 2 days down, sell the first counter move. Okay. Well, I did it here, like you said. It went down 2 days, and I sold the first counter move, but I get my ass kicked. And then it counter moved again. Well, did that destroy the rule set? I guess you're done here, right? You're done here. You're not going to keep selling here, are you? Well, no, because now it went up 2 days. You got to buy the first pullback. You got to switch gears. And then maybe you never hit your target because you got to stop here and your target's up there. You're like, didn't hit my target on that one. Because the other flaw is you're trading with a solid target. You're trading with a fixed target instead of doing what the market says you should do. Oh, did not Control Z work for that too? Here you would sell. It went down. The rule is to sell at the market with a tight stop. Okay, you're going to lose on that trade. Maybe you win on that trade. You think it's going to keep tanking? Right, so you can't have a blind rule for that. But maybe you're selling out of the winnings, which I did. I am selling. I'm selling because it's going up and I bought down here. Maybe it does sell off a little bit. So what I did is I put shallow orders in. I don't think you can get around the fact that when you switch time frames, you change the whole trade plan. That's why no nonsense does not change time frames. He built an algorithm on the dailies. He goes scanning 29 fucking currencies, looking for a setup to risk 2% of the account. I'm assuming that's what he's doing. I can't imagine trading like that. That's like this White Oaks guy. Well, he's got $200,000 account. He's up 43%. I don't know what that means. He's up and out or up. Why are you charging $170 a month for commitment of traders reports? I guess because people want to hear that. They want him to do that. So I don't really feel. Musicians say they play for free. And they charge tickets for the gear, the guys to move the gear. I mean, is there easier ways to make money? Is trading can be as hard as you want it to be because the less you involve yourself in it, the less work it is. But then, could you have made more money if you focused more on it? Probably. But you could be a casual trader. Obviously, no nonsense doesn't. He's got. Supposedly these he owns dinars or something. All these other things. Real estate, this and that. This is what people do. Akil Stokes and Jason Stapleton. They go, I got real estate. I do too. So everybody's got their hand in something. And whether they earned it or it was given to them or they're gaming the system or they bought Bitcoins at the beginning because they could see the future of that. It's a digital world, It's this you have to accept it. Looks like the euro's going up without me here, but sorry. So we're flat. We're waiting for Europe to open up and get all crazy. So this time I'll put in the link to all the files, and you just have to rifle through it. Um, there's indicators and all sorts of shit in there. I just I'm just pissed off, and I'm really frustrated. I'm annoyed that there's not more of a. Oh, another thing about the no nonsense guy. While I'm ripping on stupidity, how to trade a bear market. How do you trade a bear market? So he's claiming, this is what he posted, like back here. Just get a look at this. When the market's here, no nonsense says, how do you trade a bear market? He's claiming that right around here. It was like here or something. I don't know, right around here. I'm like, okay, dude, you see this rectangle here? Once you trap there, you could have sold there. You could have sold here. You could have sold on every, without all your filters. Isn't it funny? I could trade his system. I've traded trend trading systems like that. I just don't feel like waiting that long to get paid. I mean, if it's a 24-hour market, and if 8 hours I can make money in an 8-hour or 4-hour window, wouldn't I rather make money from a 8-hour trade than an 8-day trade? I mean, couldn't I run more tickets? So if you were to do the no-nonsense way here, you'd probably sell here. I don't know. I think he sells actually here when it's down. Confirmation. He doesn't trade reversals, so I know he wouldn't get in on a pullback. Listen, trade reversals. Everything he does is pure trend trading. So maybe if he sold here, and where did he get out? Let your profits run. Well, you really can tell me you got out here. Yeah, I got out here. Well, why did you buy there? And then of course, so here's the structure. You could have sold this and claimed that you were a bear and sold that at the market. Every time it's up, you could have sold this. That was the biggest bear trade in this how to trade a bear market. Or this was. I mean, if you considered a bear market after it broke this trend, this horizontal support, then you sold this, you sold this, you sold this, and he comes out with a video how to trade a bear market. Well, the bear is done. The bear is done. This is not a true reflection of the economy. This is when you hit the fucking, on a train, you pull a cord and the fucking brakes come on. Who does that? When was the last time they locked up a train to save one goober on the tracks? Well, we did it this time. We saved a bunch of fragile people. Okay? I get that you want to... It's a person, don't you understand? Dude, if I was that fragile, I'd be like, take me out. Get me a Corona and put a head on it. Pour me a Corona with a head on it because I'm ready to go bye-bye. Oh, the bliss of death must just... you must just... I guess that's probably people just shit themselves when they die. They're finally relaxed. They finally can say, you know what? I'm no longer an anal retentive motherfucker. I'm just going to relax into this. Oh, just think of the sigh that comes over you when you're dying. I guess you fucking ruin it with the ventilator, but that's why ventilators suck. When you die, you want to go, oh, thank God. I didn't sign up for this, and I'm out. Bye-bye. Oh, we're going to miss you. Don't talk like that. Oh, we're going to miss you. You can, if they don't delete my channel for my inappropriate comments, you can feast on my insanity into the digital domain future. Time capsule of anger. I'm eternally optimistic. Especially every time I bought a stock, I assumed it was going up. Here's the stop hunt. I'm just going to call it the trap or the liquidity supply zone stop hunt entry. And this is the pullback. How to trade a bull market. Dude, it's bull and bear all the time. Why do people so biased And to the Trading Oaks guy who said that nobody cares about my opinion. Nobody cares what you have to say. I must have trolled him once before. I kept like playing back the trolling. He's still out there. He's like the X22 guy meets Forex. I don't even. He's the same accent. Let me show you here what's going on. See, trading with the Bowery boys. Shay, film noir trading. Shay, get in here, Shay. You get out there, Shay. Otherwise, they'll trap you. But they're always trapping these. You know, people got. But there's a supply zone. Supply and demand zone. Good place to buy. Here's another demand zone. All these rooftops and this vacuum here. So how do you know which vacuum? You know, if you were a real bear, you would have definitely sold that. You'd be like, dude, we're selling above that wick. We are selling above that wick. Those are all winning trades. This one's not so much, right? Maybe a little bit. Can we take out this high? Can we take out this low? Would you buy down here? Oh, I'd buy down there all day long because we could come down there again. It looks like we're going to make it back to here, and now it's just going to be a very quiet market until some news comes. There's a second wave of Corona. Holy shit. I don't care. I'm buying on limits. Oh, there's supposed to be a fourth wave. I heard everybody's going to die of old age one day. Hey, I heard everybody doesn't live forever. Oh, fucking no. The markets are going to come unwrapped. Honey, did you hear the fundamentals? Honey, get in here. I got fundamental news. Is it the commitment of Goober's report? Yeah, you know, the institutions, the one that make all the decisions on the modeling. You know, the one hedge funds that blow themselves up. You can't have it both ways. These people that claim the institutions and the banks control the markets. Really? Are they fucking blowing themselves up? Pretty much, right? So they're just goobers. So in other words, it's just the market's moving up and down. You think these people got their shit together? In other words, they're driving the market up. The banks are pushing they're the only ones that can move the market. And then they're chasing their own trade, right? Well, in a sense, well, wait a minute. Isn't Bank of America kicking Citibank's ass on one trade? You mean they're all in the same trade? Well, don't ask questions like that. What the fuck? Is there anything wrong with this picture? It's like the Corona thing. Is there anything wrong with this? I don't know. Why does it so? Am I so pissed off? I just feel like it's just like because you are in a losing trade and the market's going against you. It's only because you have a bias. Do you think the birds out in front of your house, if you have any, still alive after this Corona, after the bird flu, do you think that those birds give a fuck about? They look at you like, huh? There's no bias. They don't say, look at this idiot fuck with the trend lines on his chart. Any birds ever landed on your windowsill going, look at this guy? Gartley patterns, we knew that shit didn't work years ago. Fuck. We're prehistoric animals of the planet. Oh, God. Anyways, I'm over it. I've had enough. Here, let's go look for a trade. Let's put some limits in on this thing. I'm going to put those limit drops in. Yeah, it's a real bitch. The dazzling indicators are really suck people and they love that shit. Let me see that indicator again. What kind of indicator? What settings are you using? Oh, I don't know if I could trade like that. I heard somebody say to me once, oof, don't know if I could just throw tickets in like that. Why not? Let's do it. 8 hours I'm selling up here on limits. Let's sell up here in 8 hours. That's it. 2 logarithmic scripts. Let's move to the next currency, please. I wait for a tick to come in. There they go. Let's go trade the British pound. Yeah, let's put a sell limit up here. Right on that rooftop. 8 hours. Risking $18 to make $36. Let's get in right above that wick. Yeah, that's what we'll do. There's got to be a supply zone up here somewheres. I could stick to the script. In fact, you could put this... Now, this is another thing you could do. Leave me alone with the updates, you fucking asshole. What is that guy? Another nanny state fucking... Well, what we're going to do here with the programmer is going to put these update reminders in because you got to keep it updated. Why? So you can track. Well, we're tracking you now. We got an army of trackers because you know you filled out your questionnaire a little funny, did you? Now trying to crack a joke at the state, deep state jokes in there. I see what you're doing. Now we don't appreciate that. It's gonna be 7 days in jail. That guy was the guy that gave the salon girl 7 days in jail in Texas. Was pulled over for drunk driving, or no, pulled over for wielding a firearm. Somehow we lost the paperwork on that. Yeah, I know. Good old boy network. Now let's not be a bear. Let's be a bull on this one. I'm going to go for the aggressive drop just under the 4-hour current bar. And another layer down here in that little hole. There's a little notch down there. Yeah, it's trading with, what's his name? Mr. Rogers. Well, Mr. Rogers and Wonderful Day in the Neighborhood. And then what we're going to do, there's a 20 pip zone here. I'm going to lay this 7. It's a Wonderful Day in the Grid Hood. 20 pip grid. Let's move on to our... This would be the dollar versus yen. I feel very confident that if we come down here, I want to buy. If we come up here, I want to sell. Next problem. Another limit drop here. I'm going to go very aggressive on this currency pair. 20 pip grid. Logarithmic 7K. See how it gets compressed down to the bottom there. Oh, I'm adding it. I didn't want to add anything to this one, but I'm adding it on. Just trying to keep this chart pure and clean like the undriven snow. Perspective changes on the 1 hour. We could come back to that starting gate. Now, this is another thing, data compression. Take a look at your trade in the eyes of the compressed 1 hour structured chart here. How about the, can you find your trade on the monthly is what I'm asking. I don't like that analysis you're doing there in the monthly, son. That's not quite right. How does your entry look on the monthly? It looks scary as shit, like they're going to smash into your tickets. On the weekly, looks damn good. The daily? How about the half-hour chart? A 4-hour chart's a good chart because there's only 6 bars a day. And I like that stack. Those are 8-hour scripts. That's a 4-hour chart. We could definitely come back. So I'll see if they pick me up tonight. And here, the British pound, I'm selling above and below. I'm going to put in some double clickers now. 3K for 12 hours, a 4K. I'm sorry, 30 minute. And this is going to last 30 minutes. Got to come back and delete it. Here's my Super Ball, which means it's going to come down. It's going to, it's like a full auction thing. It's, I call it the ball, as in Super Ball. So the exits are way above. The ratios are amazing on this B ball. Targets are way up there. Oh gosh. The singles, that's a lot of work. But like I said, this is like 60 pips deep in 6 hours. That's 10 pips every hour drop. Okay, so let me delete this and I'll show you why this is a really amazing entry there. Now, I would almost say that if you built a rack of these that said, okay, these are daily drops, wow, that's good all day long. You're risking $3. I'm sorry, you're risking yeah, $3, $3.50, I'd say $3.50 to make $5. Because that's a pip. That's not the dollar amount. These are all 1Ks. I know that because in the singles. Here's a 12-hour grid. Now these are some. Now here's a weekly grid, and I wrote this during one of the videos to show you that I would buy like every 25 pips apart for a whole week. So if you just wanted to trade Sunday night, and you started writing scripts that last for a week, and you write elaborate scripts like that, you could go to like something like. Here is the pound versus the. Look at these trades that were winning trades here too. Look at how many winning trades I had here. We got filled on that. We cashed out. We got filled on the sell side. That became a winning hedge. Right? Those tickets lasted all day. I sold here. I did not get filled here. I did not get filled here. And I bought here. And I bought here. And I bought here. I'm pretty sure I didn't get stopped out. Maybe one of them. Once we went long here on 3 tickets with a $10 stop, and I don't know what the size of those were. I could look it up. I guess this is the debriefing session. So tell me, why'd you kill your wife again? Have you heard her voice? I mean, the pitch of her voice did it. Honestly, it was okay until then. Look at no fill here last night. No fill on the Australian drops. Looks like I got filled on something here. Oh, got my 15-minute buy limit filled, triggered on the. Look at that. Didn't even trade at the market on that one. That's the way to trade. Okay, let me take a look. I got the. I gotta look for that. Euro versus the pound. Okay, sell stop. That's not it. I'm the wrong. Here, let's go. Canceled. Okay, we got to scroll down. Oh, fuck. Okay, these just expired. Oh, I think I cancel all these out. I gotta do it by comment. There they are. So these are all the ones I did. So this is one I took off the table without letting it cash out. I could have rolled that one, but I didn't. And let's see, the euro versus the pound. So here's one that cashed out the way it was supposed to. Made 18 bucks. So that was a 3K. One of those was a 3K on one ticket. Yeah, it's just an endless array. There's so many things you can do. I mean, this kind of like idea of a signal and all that. Really? Really waiting for the signal? Crude oil came back to a reasonable price here. So the yeah, the DAX is crazy, isn't it? Look at this thing. Pretty much looks like the stock market. So I just got filled on the pound long here. I gotta watch my movie. I like watching really cheap movies now. It's like junk food for the brain. It's kind of like I'm in a movie. I'm in a cheap movie right now. I think I am. Well, it's costing us a lot of money to hold this position in the pound because it's the $1.20, $1.23 for that fucking pound. Say what you will, the pound's very expensive. Anyways, let's go back and let's go to sleep. It's 10 o'clock. Let's go rest up for the London Open.